Well, Zach, thank you so much for sitting down with us. I mean, finally, it's a well overdue catch up. Much better than the little boxes on Zoom. And obviously, a lot's happened, since COVID, since you moved here too. Now at Middlesbrough, things looking well. Getting to work with the likes of Michael Carrick, Man United, great. Just overall, how's everything been going, and just the experience here in Teesside?
It's been great. Definitely the right move for myself. Off the field's great. On the field, we're in a good spot. Although we've had a couple tough results the last couple games, but the group of guys have been amazing. Michael and his staff have been amazing. And just brought a lot of belief and confidence and just passion into the club. So training's been a lot of fun, and we've been growing and getting better, and everybody's balled in, and that's exactly what you need.
How are you finding the league? Because everyone obviously says we know how difficult this league is. I mean, it's a completely different I suppose, atmosphere as well from the Premier League. The fans, especially in this part of the country, we know how passionate they can be as well. How did you find any difficulties adjusting to that? Yeah,
I mean, it's been a couple years since I played consistently, week in and week out, and so I think in the beginning of the season, I struggled with in some games and in some moments, and that's all talking about adapting and getting used to things, getting used to new teammates and the league. And the league is tough. It's very physical. I mean, there's no VAR, so you can get away with some things that you normally wouldn't get away with in the Prem. In the beginning of the season, we struggled as a team. We struggled just to kind of have the leadership and the guidance. So now that we found that, it's been easier to kind of just to play and have fun and enjoy everything, and go into work every day and want to get better, want to push the guy next year.
Cool. So you spoke about the struggle that you said at the beginning of the season. What finally clicked? What was that thing, or a couple of things, I suppose, that helped us see the success that now we're seeing today? Yeah,
I think it's sometimes tough for like a lone player to kind of be used to a team and then go to a different team and get used to new players and a new playing style and as well, being a goalkeeper, you need rhythm, you need games, and you need to be thrown into all types of situations so you can just adapt and learn, and because there's so many different aspects in goalkeeping that you need to, especially now with playing out of the back and everything, that you need to conquer. So I think just getting a season of games and a run of games and being healthy and being able to train and get better and all that stuff has just accumulated to now that I'm in a good spot.
And what's working with Michael Carrick like, on the day-to-day? Obviously, so many people know him from Manchester United, and sometimes people say just because you're a great player doesn't necessarily mean you're a great manager. But what has he brought? Say, what's your favorite part about working with him?
He's very calm. He's like myself. I'm very laid back and chill and calm. And
almost Jamaican.
I wish. He's very calm, very clever and smart. Is always bringing new exercises and drills into training and concepts that make it easy for the players to understand. Obviously he's very experienced, so he gets the respect immediately when he walks in the door. But he wants to become a better coach, and he wants to help us become better players. So he brings in, just lots of calmness and positivity and belief, and he trusts us as well. He'll give us tactics and this and that, but he'll let us go out there and he won't be screaming at us on the field, on the sideline, where to play the ball and everything. So he trusts us, and that gives us confidence just to go out there and get the job done.
I mean, for club and country, you've obviously gotten to work with a number of different managers, a number of different man management styles. The fact that he, is younger, he we still look at him as a player more so than a manager, because he's still obviously getting his feet wet and whatnot. Does that help? Does that make you kind of relate to them more and help you guys do the job better, as opposed to, say, a manager that comes in and rules with an iron fist and is a lot older than you guys, kind of like a scary uncle?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I think it goes both ways. He can relate to us and we can relate to him, and he obviously he retired only a few years ago, so he can remember what it was like being a player, and that makes it easier for him to relate to us, for sure.
Yeah, that seems so. And then now, when we look at obviously the success that you guys are having, and we don't want to jinx anything, but the fans are starting to dream and believe. What for you guys is the objective, I suppose, a realistic objective, apart from just promotion? And are you allowed to like start dreaming that big just yet, or are you kind of just trying to take it game by game?
I think both. You got to dream, you got to manifest, you got to set goals, and our goal is to promote. And whatever way that happens, football's crazy, life is crazy, and things happen. And I believe what's meant to be will be. So as long as you put in the hard work and the dedication, and you do the little things all correctly, and just over and over and routinely, and you believe, and you put some good out in the world, that you'll get that back. So as long as we just keep focusing on the day-to-day training and each game and the results, then yeah, I think we can do it.
And obviously we've been keeping up with you with the stuff on the pitch, but off the pitch we know that you have you've formed VOYCENOW, which seems to be obviously something amazing initiative too, that keeps you busy too off the pitch. Tell me a bit more about how the idea started, how you actually got it to come to fruition.
Yeah, so it was after the death of George Floyd and during COVID, and we were all sitting at home in COVID and couldn't leave really. And although you saw so many protests all over the world, which was amazing. And I went to a protest with my sister in Dusseldorf at the time. I was on loan there, and just sitting at home, my really good friend Alexis and I were talking, and we're like, okay, what can we do? How can we shine some light on the stuff that we see that we don't agree with? And us as athletes, we have platforms that we work hard at to gain, and the respect of the public and the support of our fans and family and everything. So we wanted to use that for good, and so we created VOYCENOW and kind of banded together a bunch of athletes who felt the same way. And it's all just to give back to the underserved and the communities that aren't being listened to, or being pushed aside and ignored in America, and just in the cities usually. And so we've banded together with the Boys and Girls Club of America in about 10 to 12 major cities in America, and just work with them and get them whatever they need, and get those kids whatever they need: Wi-Fi, books, food. And we're working on getting some athletes from time to time into those schools so that they can meet the kids and just give those kids a motivational character, figure, or person to look up to. Because the way I look at it is like, imagine if you had a professional athlete or a celeb, not even celebrity, but like a person of who's doing well, a successful person in their career, and a good person come into your community and just try to get to know you and have a conversation that would motivate you and just light up your life. So that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Is it something that you felt like was almost lacking, or you didn't see enough of, for example, when you were growing up and getting into it? And like you said, you see these injustices going on, and you feel like you're caught between a rock and a hard place, wondering what to do.
Yeah, I think growing up for me, I didn't have, I know professional athletes all over the world have different foundations and do all types of amazing charitable work. And I love that. My mom raised me to always help out and treat others how you want to be treated. So I think the more good you can put out in the world, and the more you can give back to the people who need a helping hand, the better. You have a kind of swaggy way of going about it too, with the gear. I've noticed how to look at the website. Where did that come about? Because I know you are a pretty stylish person too. Footballers and style go together like footballers and
tattoos and designer wash bags as well. So tell me about the clothing
Starter
line
kit
aspect
right
of
there.
it. Yeah, that's a footballer starter kit, man. So about the clothing line aspect of it, like who designs it, because we've seen even, I mean, like for example, DeAndre Yedlin as well has his line out too. I know we spoke to him about it. You guys are mad swaggy.
Yeah.
Tim Ware's pretty swaggy as well too. So how did you try to incorporate that, and who designs it? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, I think it's just it's one passion of mine. It is clothing and fashion and looking good, and because I believe when you look good, you feel good, and you know that. What's his name? The football player, baseball player that if you look good, you feel good, they pay good. I can't remember his name. Legend though. And we thought that people want to wear, like, they want to represent VOYCENOW, they want to represent like the good. So why not make some cool stuff that people would want to wear? Or at least like my friends, my family, and hopefully it will just grow. And so yeah, I have a good friend, Chris. Chris Brown's actually his name. It's funny. Everybody's like, you know Chris Brown? I'm like, yeah, I know Chris Brown. You want to FaceTime him? But he's connected into the football world really well, and he's brought the One Football collab with VOYCENOW, which I'm wearing right now, and then he's brought some other ones. The one we did with the US Soccer for the World Cup was really cool.
Saw that, yeah.
And then we're doing another one in June with a Cali brand that will be at a small Miami fashion show. In June, so we're excited.
So what's the, I suppose, the overall goal now for it, or are you kind of hitting that? Because it seems like it is going well, it's thriving, isn't it? Yeah,
it's going well. We definitely have bigger and better goals in the future, but it's only 3 years now, 2 years? 3 years now in June. So we're doing well, and we're still learning. Like my team and I of three other people, we didn't know like how to run a nonprofit, so we're just learning on the go, and it's been some learning curves and a lot of good times, some learning things that we keep in the back of our head. So we still have bigger and better goals, but yeah, we've done a lot of good so far, which is awesome.
Well, you mentioned, of course, the drop that they had for the World Cup. And we do have to talk about the World Cup.
Okay.
I know.
I figured.
You know it's coming. Cool. Take us for what? It's cool. No, I mean, it happens. Football. We know. What was it like, I suppose, for you overall watching, the US at the World Cup from home?
Yeah, it was really tough.
Yeah.
But of course, I want to support the boys. Like the brotherhood that we have, the camaraderie is unbelievable. It's so special. And that's something that you really don't let anything spite or anything get in the way of. So. Yeah, it was tough to watch it with family and friends and not be there and all that. But yeah, like you said, I mean, that's football, that's life. Everything happens for a reason, and yeah, it allowed me to find some other good things in my life that I need to focus on and that have helped me get to where I am today.
And we know that Gregg pretty much said, obviously, giving Matt his time, and to some probably almost even have you there, the media. We know that we would probably put this as a you versus him type of thing, and it was just potentially giving unnecessary headlines that could distract the camp as a whole, or the squad as a whole. When you heard that, I suppose, as a reasoning, was it still kind of hard to take, or could you kind of understand his thinking behind that?
I didn't hear about that until like a couple months later. Or I heard somebody say that, but I thought it was like a rumor or whatever. And he's he was the coach at the time. I mean, he and I have a long history, and yeah, I thought it was a little bit different than it was, obviously, and yeah, it's something I've learned as well. And that was a tough pill to swallow, for sure. But that's the way it is, and that's the way it is.
Did you get to talk to him or any of the boys as well after, during, throughout?
Matt or Gregg?
Just anybody. Yeah, Gregg first, and then of course any of the boys in the camp.
No, I haven't spoken to Gregg since that phone call that said they weren't gonna come. So I mean, yeah, I thought, like I said, I thought things were different and closer and whatever, but it's not that way. But No, I just gave those guys their space and let them enjoy the World Cup, and I knew that they were going to go out there and kill it and impress the world. So I saw them for the first time again this past camp in March, a year later. So it was good to be back and good to be with those guys and see them.
And I mean, I know during lockdown, of course, we spoke so much as well about like mental health, and we spoke to DeAndre, you know, we've spoken to you, and you told me like what you get to do to kind of just keep yourself sane, because football can be a dog-eat-dog world, you know, and we were all looking for, I suppose, those avenues to help ourselves, especially in COVID. So after dealing with something like that, you know, this is the World Cup. What did you do to kind of just try keep your mind in that place?
What did I do? I just tried to. Usually, I keep things in and bottle it up. That's what I've been doing in the past, and that's never a good thing to do.
No.
So this time, I spoke about it, and to my family, to my friends, and I have a life coach that I spoke with, a therapist, and just by doing all that and getting off your chest and getting your feelings out there and everything, that helped. Still took some time to get over, for sure, but in time it just makes you stronger, and you use it as motivation to keep working and keep moving.
And then I guess since you're now on ESPN, we'll probably ask you to put on your little analyst hat. Okay. Looking overall at how the boys is, as you said, this is a squad of players that includes yourself that everyone's so impressed with. You know, we see more American players playing on this side of the world. You know, you see what's going on at Leeds. It gets everybody stateside quite excited. We've never been busier at ESPN, you know, following you guys all over. So I know we've spoken to Tyler Adams, and he hates the term golden generation.
Okay.
But for you, what did you think of the performances at the World Cup? We know the US came up against the Netherlands, and that is a tough one.
For sure.
But many people went in there believing that they had what it takes to beat them. How did you match to match think they did, or what was missing? Was it a letdown to go out at that point for you?
It was the games before that they played. They were shining. They were outstanding. Their effort, their commitment, their togetherness, their bravery was amazing. And I think the Netherlands was a good lesson in terms of just kind of experience.
Because it's still such a young squad, isn't it?
Yeah, very young. I think it was the youngest squad at the World Cup. And just getting that experience, getting those round of 16 games, and because it was a round of 16, right? And being able to play against such a classy team as them. So I think just getting there and getting that taste and that hunger and desire to want more and to just use it as motivation for the next time we're in that spot to make sure we win that game and keep going forward.
I remember I was at that game because it was a huge game. I think USA against England. Everybody stateside felt like this was the first time in a long time that you guys almost were at a level of England to at least give them a good. Oh, you thought you were in the game. In the game. First, I'll take you the thoughts on that game and the thoughts of a certain Tyler Adams in that game. There was that meme of him kind of holding back Harry Kane and everybody else just to, because unbelievable performance as well. And like you said, a bunch of young guys, but playing like the big boys, right? What did you think of the game?
Yeah, I thought we were
better.
I thought we were better. I thought we were outstanding. It was just, it goes to show how much like camaraderie and brotherhood and desire and how much we want it and how much we want to show the world that we can play, and just how brave they were to go out there and play and to press and to just to go and again and again and again, just relentlessness. It was amazing to see, and we can definitely take it into the future.
I know we spoke to Christian as well too, and he had said that he actually couldn't tell why in so many of the matches you had so many chances but the goals weren't coming. I know it's not your job either to score goals, but you do get a good front row seat to probably read the game a bit better. What did you think I suppose was missing? Is it something that in the last camp maybe you guys talked about to work on going forward?
It's a good question, actually.
Thanks.
I haven't really thought about that too much. We talked about it in the last camp. I I mean, it's just like having that, like keeping the team around their 18 and just kind of smothering them in their half, and when we get it, just making sure we play forward and we get the bodies around, we're making the runs to break the lines, and we just get the shots off, and sometimes, you know how football is, it's crazy, sometimes you get no chances and you get one and you're clinical and you score and whatever. We just have to become more clinical, because when you're playing against a good team and you get that one or two or a couple chances, you gotta take them.
You got to take them indeed. And what was it like being back in this last camp, this international break? A little reunion, I suppose. It was
a year. Yeah, it was a year, because the last one I was at was when we qualified in March and April last year, and it was really good. It was really good for the soul. Just to see the guys and hang out with them and see the coaching staff again and be able to train with them again, and it was really good.
I bet it does seem good for the soul too. And speaking about CONCACAF overall, we know there's a Gold Cup coming on. You can be honest, even though Jamaica's in there too. But the US now, do you still feel like the top team in CONCACAF? We see, for example, the struggles Mexico has been having as well, but we also have seen the rise of Canada too, which we did see them as well at the World Cup, probably underperformed from what people were expecting. But for how CONCACAF now is shaping up, what do you think? Still top team?
Yeah, we're the top. We're the top, but not.
Easily.
Canada is a good side. They've got a lot of talent, and they've got a lot of experience as well. Mexico is obviously a very good team, very experienced, and has very good players. But I gotta say we're top.
You're top. Do you kind of want to see, or does it almost hurt, I must say, to see like the likes of Mexico kind of going through struggles? Because you know what they say, iron sharpens iron, and I think overall for World Cup, I mean, we are CONCACAF babies. We kind of want to see more CONCACAF teams there. Jamaica, please. But what do you think? Because now we're from outside the US now, I'll say, as well as a Jamaican speaking, you kind of are worried when there's such a drop in the gap. There's the US and then it kind of feels like a huge gap, and now everybody else. Yeah,
you definitely want to see CONCACAF teams doing well and playing well and being good teams, because that's who we play most of the time, like during our international breaks. So we want to be tested. We want to play those tough games. We want to play the European teams as well, because they're so good and so much quality and experience. And so we want that same kind of competitiveness that they get during their international breaks.
And then the new rivalry now, as I said, we know that it's always been USA-Mexico, but you feel like there's a nice little more up-and-coming rivalry with Canada now.
Yeah, I think so. Almost like, I don't know how you would say, I guess Mexico, USA would be like boyfriend and ex-girlfriend or whatever, but like Canada's almost like brother versus brother or something.
Yeah,
like,
there's still a lot of respect there, right?
Still a lot of respect, but it's becoming a little bit more. I mean, and we'll see.
Are you losing sleep
June.
over them?
No.
They're not quite there
yet.
They're
good. No, they're good, and we respect them for sure, and they're good, and they can hurt us, and they can, for sure. But now we believe in ourselves.
You'll see them in June. What about Jamaica? I'm kidding. You don't have to answer that. I don't even think I want you to answer that.
No, they're good as well. I mean, we tied them.
Yeah.
Down in Jamaica with that crazy goal. That crazy goal.
I know, man, like Michael Antonio too.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah?
I was there, exactly. Well, I suppose then for you now, as you said, back in the US setup, good for the soul, doing absolute bits at Middlesbrough, things are looking good. Your future now, ideal-wise, of course, for club and for country, what you thinking, what are the goals, where, obviously without giving us too much, I understand, but what are you thinking? What's the short-term goals?
Short-term promotion with Borough. That's number one.
And you feel at home at Borough, because obviously you still have your ties to City.
Yeah. No, I do. I like it up here. I feel I'm in a good place, which is important. But promotion with Borough, and then we'll figure out the next season and the next steps.
And I know when we spoke to Matt too, he had said that he almost he welcomes the fact that he's kept honest by having a goalkeeper like you there as well in the setup too. Is that kind of how you feel too?
Absolutely. Like you said, iron sharpens iron, and Matt's a great goalkeeper. And so is Ethan, so Sean, and I've been very lucky to continue to have good goalkeepers around me to so that I can continue to progress and vice versa. So yeah, Matt and I have only had a couple camps and just getting to know each other and how we train and everything. So it's I'm looking forward to the future.
All right, Zach, well, it was an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Always love how you do bare your soul to us, so definitely looking forward to see what the future has for you. Definitely good to see you back in a good place as well.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN+.